Why silence is powerful. Have you ever noticed how much energy we waste trying to explain ourselves to people who never truly cared to understand us? Think about it. How many times have you found yourself justifying your decisions, defending your dreams, waiting, hoping for someone to give you permission to chase what's in your heart? But here's the truth. Every second you spend trying to prove yourself to others is a second stolen from your own growth. And it's time to stop. Because the moment you shift your focus inward on your goals, your peace, your journey, everything begins to change. Why? Because success doesn't come from talking about what you're going to do. It doesn't come from convincing others you're worthy. It comes from action. It comes from consistency. It comes from silence. It's built in the quiet hours when no one is watching. It's built when you choose progress over praise. It's built when you keep going, even when no one claps, even when no one believes but you. Most people never reach their potential because they're too distracted by noise. The noise of opinions, the noise of social media, the noise of comparison. They scroll for hours comparing their journey to someone else's highlight reel. They fear judgment from family or friends. They argue with people who don't have their best interests at heart. And by the end of the day, they're drained, discouraged, and stuck. But listen closely. Silence is not weakness, it's power. When you cut the noise and turn your focus inward, you become unstoppable. You don't need an audience. You don't need applause. You don't need anyone's approval. What you need is discipline. What you need is belief. What you need is you. When you stop explaining and start executing, you begin to transform. You grow stronger, wiser, more focused. You attract better energy, make better decisions, build real confidence, not because someone validated you, but because you showed up for yourself again and again. Now, don't mistake this for isolation. This isn't about cutting the world off. It's about protecting your energy. It's about becoming intentional with your time, your attention, your life. Not every opinion needs a response. Not every argument deserves your words. And not every person deserves access to your mind. Because when you learn to guard your energy, when you stop explaining and start evolving, you discover the greatest power isn't in being heard, it's in being grounded, in being unshakable, in moving in silence and letting your results speak. So stop looking around, start looking within. The path is yours, the mission is yours, the moment is now. And remember, silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. Let your actions make the noise. The importance of self-focus. When you focus inward, you gain control over your life. And here's the best part. When you work in silence, without announcing your every move, your results become undeniable. People will start to notice. They'll wonder how you did it. They'll see the transformation. And you won't need to say a single word, because your actions will speak louder than anything you could ever say. So here's your challenge. Stop talking about what you're going to do. Stop worrying about who's watching. Stop waiting for permission. Just do the work. Focus on you. Show up every single day. And trust that when you commit to your growth, everything will begin to fall into place. You've got this. Now go make it happen. What you focus on expands. If you focus on growth, on discipline, on becoming better, your life transforms. It's that simple. Your energy is one of the most powerful forces you have, and yet most people have no idea how much control they actually hold over their reality. Every thought you think, every action you take, every choice you make, it's all shaping your future. But here's the problem. Most people are investing their energy in the wrong places. They focus on what's lacking instead of what's possible. They get caught up in distractions instead of locking in on discipline. They obsess over others' opinions instead of tracking their own progress. And then they wonder why they feel lost, stuck, exhausted. Here's the truth. Your life is a reflection of what you give your attention to. If you constantly feed your mind negativity, if you surround yourself with people who drain you, if you waste your time on things that don't serve your purpose, your reality will reflect that chaos. But if you redirect your energy toward growth, learning, and becoming the highest version of yourself, your entire world begins to change. And this isn't just motivational talk. It's neuroscience. Your brain has a built-in system called the reticular activating system, ERAS. It acts like a mental filter, bringing into focus what you repeatedly think about. That's why, when you decide to buy a specific car, you start seeing that model everywhere. Now imagine if you trained your brain to focus on opportunities instead of obstacles, solutions instead of problems, progress instead of fear. You'd start attracting more of what you want instead of settling for what life throws at you. Here's the truth most people miss. Your energy is your responsibility. No one else is going to protect it for you. If you want to change your life, you need to be intentional about what you allow into your mind, your space, and your soul. That means setting boundaries, saying no to distractions, cutting ties with habits and people who pull you backward. It means replacing complaints with action, excuses with discipline, and noise with focus. Because when you start feeding your mind the right thoughts, when you build the right habits, when you focus on who you are becoming instead of what you're missing, you'll begin to see results. And when the results come, everything shifts. Suddenly, the things that used to drain you won't even touch you. The negativity that once pulled you down will lose its grip. The opinions of others will fade into silence because you found your power within. So remember this, your focus is your superpower. Use it wisely, guard it fiercely, and let it shape the life you truly deserve. Why talking less leads to greater results. There comes a moment in your journey where the things that used to distract you, the negativity that once drained you, the people who doubted you, they no longer matter. Not because the world around you changed, but because you changed. You trained your mind to focus only on what matters. You stopped explaining, stopped overthinking, and started moving in silence. And when you do that, when you direct all your energy into becoming stronger, smarter, more disciplined, your reality starts to mirror that commitment. This is the secret. Success isn't about luck, it's about alignment. When your actions, mindset, and energy all sync up with the vision you have for your life, progress becomes inevitable. You don't need all the answers. You don't need to have every step mapped out. But what you do need is clarity on where your focus goes. Because every single day, you are either feeding your future or fueling your fears. So ask yourself, what are you choosing to focus on? Distractions are dream killers. They don't just slow you down, they derail your journey. Not because you lack potential, not because you're incapable, but because your attention is scattered. Every time you give in to negativity, every time you obsess over someone else's opinion, every time you let drama take over your day, you're stealing time and energy from your goals. And the worst part? Most people don't even realize they're doing it. Think about it. How much time do you spend scrolling, comparing, watching others live their lives, instead of building your own? How many times have you let someone's bad mood ruin your day? How often have you said, "I'll start tomorrow," only to get distracted by something meaningless? That's the trap. That's what distractions do. They don't show up as obvious enemies. They disguise themselves as urgency, as obligations, as noise that seems important but isn't. A pointless argument, a social event you didn't really care about, a meeting that served no purpose. These small distractions add up. And over time, they become the reason you're not making progress. The most successful people on the planet have one thing in common. They are ruthless with their time. They don't let distractions control their day. They don't spend energy where it doesn't serve them. They protect their peace. They protect their focus because they understand one truth. Without focus, nothing great gets built, and neither will your future, unless you learn to guard your attention like your life depends on it. Because it does. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, you can't afford to be casual with your focus. You must take control of your time, your environment, and your thoughts. And let's talk about one of the biggest distractions of all. Other people's opinions. It's crazy how much energy we waste worrying about what others think. We shrink ourselves to avoid judgment. We delay our dreams out of fear of criticism. We play small, just to stay in someone else's comfort zone. But here's the truth. People are going to judge you no matter what you do. So why not do what sets your soul on fire? Why not build the life you actually want on your terms? You don't need approval. You don't need applause. You just need commitment. Start moving in silence. Let your success make the noise. Talk less, execute more. And remember, every moment spent proving yourself to others is a moment stolen from proving your greatness to yourself. Focus on what truly matters. Cut the noise, guard your energy, and take the steps, one by one, that lead you to your purpose. Your future is waiting, but it's only coming for the version of you who decides to show up. So stop explaining, start executing, and let your results speak for themselves.
How to ignore negativity and focus on what truly matters. This version includes emotionally compelling language, powerful transitions, and motivational phrasing designed to deeply resonate with your audience and keep them engaged. How to ignore negativity and focus on what truly matters. Motivational speech. Let's be real. Negativity is everywhere, and the fear of what others might say, that fear holds more people back than failure ever will. But here's the truth. The moment you stop caring about opinions that don't matter, you finally set yourself free. You free your mind, you free your energy, you free yourself to focus on what actually moves your life forward. And when your focus shifts, everything changes. You become more productive. You gain confidence, not because the world applauded you, but because you proved to yourself that you're capable. That's the power of eliminating distractions. It's not just about silence, it's about creating space to become who you were born to be. But here's the catch. This transformation doesn't happen by accident. It requires intentional action every single day. That means setting boundaries. That means saying no more often. That means building a daily routine that prioritizes your growth over everything else. If it slows you down, it has to go. Whether it's toxic relationships, destructive habits, or time-wasting activities. Because success, it's not just about working hard. It's about working smart. Working smart means guarding your focus with everything you've got. Because without focus, even the hardest work gets diluted. So if you're tired of feeling stuck, frustrated because you're not where you want to be, then it's time to ask yourself, where is your energy really going? Are you investing it in what makes you better? Or are you spending it on distractions that leave you drained and stagnant? Because the moment you choose to take your focus seriously, your life begins to accelerate. You start moving with purpose. You start seeing actual results. You begin to realize you were always capable. You just needed to realign your attention. When focus becomes your habit, progress becomes your lifestyle. The distractions that used to derail you, they no longer stand a chance. Because now you're locked in. You've trained your mind to tune out the noise and lock in on your mission. Don't let temporary distractions steal your permanent destiny. Protect your time. Protect your energy. And watch your life transform. Here's what most people get wrong about success. They think it's about one big break, one perfect opportunity, one moment of glory that changes everything. It's not. Real success is built in the shadows, in the quiet, small, consistent actions that no one sees. The habits that feel insignificant in the moment, but compound into massive transformation over time. That's the secret. The compound effect of showing up for yourself. Daily. Think about it. Waking up early to work on your goals. That's progress. Choosing a book over mindless scrolling. That's progress. Picking discipline over excuses. That's progress. Each of those actions might feel small today, but over time, they stack up. Most people never reach their potential because they quit too soon. They expect instant results. And when they don't see change fast enough, they give up and slide back into comfort. But here's the truth. Success is like planting a seed. You don't plant it today and expect a tree tomorrow. You water it. You nurture it. You give it time. At first, it looks like nothing is happening. But underneath the surface, something powerful is growing. That's your journey. Every day you choose progress over excuses. Every time you take one more step when it would have been easier to quit, you're building your foundation. You may not see the results immediately, but if you stay consistent, the breakthrough will come. The problem is most people give up right before the breakthrough. They let doubt creep in. They assume their efforts don't matter. But every step forward, even the small ones, matters. If you're constantly learning, growing, and showing up, even in silence, you are winning. So remember this: ignore the noise, drown out the negativity, protect your peace. Guard your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. You are not here to impress the world. You're here to become your best self. And that journey, it begins when you stop looking for approval and start looking within. Let your actions speak louder than their opinions. Let your consistency silence their doubt. Let your growth be the answer to every question they ever had. You've got this.